Hi. Today my mom told me to clean out the attic, and look at what I found. It's labeled Tesla Interview. I don't even know who Tesla is, but his name sure does sound sciencey. Well, might as well watch it. Now, where did I put that film player? Thank you for agreeing to this interview, Mr. Tesla. The public is very interested in your work. Can you tell our audience a little about your childhood, your family? I was born on July 9th at midnight in 1856. My father, Milutin Tesla, was a priest. He wanted me to follow in his footsteps, but I was more interested in science. My mother, Juka Mandik, was an inventor at heart. She created small household devices throughout my childhood and inspired my creativity. When I was 17, I got very sick with cholera. My father promised me that if I recovered, he would let me study science. So, when I was healthy again, I went to Austria and Prague to learn all I could about engineering. I've always been fascinated by electricity. Oh yes, math and science always came easily to me. I saw ideas and answers very clearly in my mind. My teachers frequently thought that I was cheating. I was inspired by things that I observed around me. When I was little, I once saw an engraving of Niagara Falls. I immediately envisioned a huge wheel being turned by the massive falls. I told my uncle that I was destined one day to harness the power of Niagara. I knew it in my soul. Another afternoon when I was living in Budapest, I was inspired by a line of poetry in the setting sun. I immediately stopped to draw a sketch in the dirt. It was my answer to direct current and showed the world a whole new way of generating and harnessing electrical power. I knew I had to go to America to share my ideas with the one man I believed could help me build these dreams. Was Thomas Edison everything you hoped he would be? No, sadly he didn't live up to my high expectations. When I had first started working for him, he promised me $50,000 if I could perfect his direct current generator. When I had made some major improvements to it and had perfected it to a T, he simply said, "Mr. Tesla, you do not understand our American humor." I was so disappointed that I didn't get anything for my extensive work. From that day on, Edison became my biggest competitor. People called it the War of the Currents. After all that mess with Edison, your AC generators were well received, right? The Chicago World's Fair is a good example. Tell us about that experience. Yes, they were very popular among the people. So popular, in fact, that I landed the World's Fair job over Edison. I got this major job by partnering with a wealthy businessman named George Westinghouse. We worked for days on that project. We even had to make a 2-part light bulb specifically for it. Partnership with Westinghouse also resulted in the contract at Niagara Falls. That sounds like a huge challenge. It did take us a while to get everything ready and in tip-top shape, so that when we did start up the generators, they would work like a charm. But by the end of it, we got through just fine. Your patent for the AC generator was successful and led to many great business opportunities. But that wasn't always the case, was it? You are correct. After I had researched and patented my design for the radio, a man named Marconi tried to patent his design. If you ask me, his was just a little too similar to mine. Suggesting Marconi stole your ideas for the radio? Indeed, and he got away with it too.
The situation worked out, right?
I'm still working on getting that situation worked out. I think it will eventually be given back to me. Someday, at least.
Sad. Once again, your generosity helped line the pockets of other men.
It is quite sad. I just wish I could have helped even more people. Isn't that what all people want? To help other people?
We're good friends with the famous author, Mark Twain.
Yes, I even let him into my laboratory on multiple occasions. When I had my office on Ground Street, he came in and participated in one of my many experiments. The one he helped me with consisted of attempting to transmit light without heat or wires. Right before that, I had been working on my remote control boats. That means that the boats move through radio waves instead of through wires. Can you enlighten our viewers a little more about your time on Ground Street, Mr. Tesla? With pleasure. When I was living and working on Ground Street, I was attempting to make light appear in mid-air without a bulb or even wires. My theory was that if I had neurons bombarding against each other at high enough speeds that their sparks from bumping into each other would be bright enough to make light.
All of your personal relationships were so friendly.
Sadly, that's true. I once worked with a wealthy businessman named J.P. Morgan. We partnered together to build a massive radio tower called Wardenclyffe. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a money pit, and Morgan pulled out of financing the project. After that, he went on to back Marconi's work, and without money, I was left to abandon the dream.
Working on anything interesting now?
The scientific man does not aim at an immediate result. He does not expect that his advanced ideas will be readily taken up. His work is like that of the planter, for the future. His duty is to lay a foundation for those that come, and to point the way.
Retirement. Are you enjoying living the high life and finally enjoying all the money you made from your inventions?
Oh no, I am virtually penniless. Many greedy men have made a great deal of money off of my inventions, but I was always more interested in the product instead of the profit. It's quite sad. I'm currently living off the generosity of others, although I do still get to spend time with my beloved pigeons, so it's all okay.
Pigeons? Really?
Yes, my loves.
Oh, well then, okay then. Well, turns out my boy Tesla made a lot of cool stuff that we still use today, such as alternating current. He was also a pioneer in wireless technology. Where you're driving that thing. And finally, he single-handedly created a whole new kind of radio. All of which we still use today. Wait. Hold on, I gotta take this. Yes? Okay.